Attention bar patrons, happy hour has begun. Drinks are our half price and it's time to loosen up from your work week. Show some love to your bartender, that lovable loudmouth with absolutely no filter, Trevor Garner.
Do you know about this world and all its demands? Sometimes it's hard to face it. What are your future plans? Get off your throne. Get off your throne.
All right, Trevor's Happy Hour Sunday night. We've got a guy. His name is Mark Littell. He played. Now I got it. We've talked to him before, but I think I know pretty much how to talk to him at this point. I'll talk to him like a redneck, and he's an interesting character. I've got Zombie Wolf on the phone. He's my sidekick. So I want to ask Mark some questions about what's been going on since our last chat. Mark, what have you been doing up in North Dakota since all this started with all this virus and all this stuff?
Well, I'm no longer freezing my ass off because it's summer.
Yeah.
And the other factor is that if it's Mark Littell, it'd be swell sometimes. So I tread lightly, and out here in Dickinson on the western edge, which is 50 miles from the Montana line, and it's all the oil people. You just kind of gotta, watch what you step in sometimes, because there's a little cow poop out here just as well. And then there's a whole bunch of helicopter pheasants out here, so when they go up, you pop one and then you clean it and eat it. It's pretty simple, especially for a redneck cultured country boy like me.
Yeah, and then you hire guys that put a chainsaw blade between their legs, and that's how people work for you.
No, that's just millennials. That's just millennials. No, that's just millennials. They just start it up and crank it up and say, "Hey, I'm minus one cojones." Right. Flying in the sky.
I thought that was a commercial.
Yeah, it's kind of like ride, Captain, ride up on my mystery ship.
Well, will the Nutty Buddy take care of that?
Well, temporarily, until you rev it up. So it kind of cuts into that 124R Lexan, which is bullet resistant glass.
So Mark, he has his product, the Nutty Buddy. It protects his boys. So,
Cojones, yep.
I guess it doesn't say chainsaws welcome.
Right.
Okay, so Tom, you can introduce yourself.
I'm Zombie. We spoke before.
Oh, you did? You spoke to Mark?
Yeah, quite a while. Yeah.
All right. Well, so what I want to get into is, now that the season started a couple days ago, what do you think about the season going? I mean, should they have started at all? What do you think? Because everybody's complaining about there's no fans, and then some people say it's good, and some people say it's bad. I don't know. I have a hard time watching it, but go ahead. Tell me what you think.
Who's talking, me?
I'm talking to Mark. Yeah.
Sure, why not? Okay, Mark's going to say, yeah, you should have started it, no matter what the circumstances, because, if you don't have it and they go through a contract crapola talk over the winter and it carries over into the spring, you're just going to have a whole lot of pissed off more people, and it's not going to be good. And I think, maybe even toward they might even figure something out to where they might even fill that with 30 to 40%. Who knows? Distancing, who knows? As the season progresses, I doubt it, but you never know. You keep your fingers crossed. I think the country needed it.
Mm-hmm.
There was all kinds of things up in the air with the BLM, which is the big news, and the Star Spangled Banner. Matter of fact, I put something up on my site a couple days ago. It's in my third book, and I just took a little bit of it out, a little excerpt of a chapter called Perth, Australia, which is the furthest American consulate from Washington. Not that anybody really cares, but we were playing the Japanese Toshiba team because I was the coach in resident coming out of the United States, and I was the only guy there. And so Australia and Toshiba team were playing like on Friday, Saturday night, and so they filled up the Perry Stadium. I had lunch with them that afternoon on a Friday, so I got to try all the moving parts of sushi, and so it was, it's pretty good. Except I bit into one and it didn't work, and I just instead of the bow, I gave him the old Boy Scout salute, and he said, "You don't like it?" I said, "No, hell no, I don't like it." So as opinionated as I am, but we got through the bout. At the stadium, see, they everybody was lined up. They played the Australian national anthem, which was it's good, God Save the Queen, that kind of stuff. And then Japan was there and on the other line, and they're sitting there going symbol, symbol, symbol. It was all over the place, ding, dong, ding, ding, and then then all of a sudden I'm sitting there with the Aussies, because I'm dressed out in uniform. And because I am the coach in resident, and I've worked with those guys just a little bit, while I've been there, and they played our national anthem, and I was just like, it actually about 5-10 seconds into it kind of brought a tear down, because I'd been there a while in that country, and all of a sudden they play the national anthem. So I got a hold of 3 national anthems, that I'd never done before, because normally, when I played in the American National League, we played in Canada, and we played, another God Save the Queen thing. But anyway, so.
Hey, can you say doing, doing, doing again?
Doing, 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 doing.
Yeah. Well, but see, that
was kind of close. I might be off a couple notes. But it was close.
Chinese to me. I'm sorry.
It's like Japanese ball players. There's 3 things they like in life. They love baseball. It's 4 things. They like golf. They like cigarettes, and they like the American blonde. It's pretty amazing.
See, I remember it because you came up in the 70s, right? But you played against Hiroshima. I mean, didn't you?
No, I played against the Hiroshima Carbs. Hiroshima.
Oh, Hiroshima.
They call it Hiroshima. Hiroshima. Yeah. So anyway,
Okay. Oh, okay. So what I want to get back to is, so they've started the season. I mean, for me, I'm watching the stands are empty. And then I talked to Jimmy Campanis, and he goes, well, and then I listened to Roy Firestone says it's unwatchable because the fans are the most important point in the game. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, and then they cut from the empty seats, and then you go look at the bleachers, and they're full of fans. I mean, it's weird what they're doing with this. Why don't they just play it with nobody there?
Those are cardboard. Those are cardboard people.
Well, I haven't been paying too much attention to that part. I just watch the game, and if I'm out on the mound, all I'm trying to do is get an out. Everybody says, "Oh, you got to throw a strike." No, I got to get an out. Yeah. And then you get the guys off the field, and the defense helps you, and then you run into the dugout and you let them hit.
Yeah. Don't strike. And you try
to repeat that.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Somebody wants to ask you a question.
Don't strike throwers actually get more hits off of them, right? Don't they?
Say what? Well, more strike throwers. What? You get more hits off? Well, you can't tell Maddox that because he's got about 63%. He's the highest ratio out there. It was.
I would think getting outs is the most important.
Yeah, when you get throwing the ball over the plate, you get these kids nowadays that just throw the ever living shit out of the ball, know where in the hell it's going sometimes. So see, you got pitching and throwing, and they got one thing in common. They got about the same amount of letters in both words, and that's where it stops. Hell, my grandmother can throw. She can't pitch, though. I mean, shit. You get some kid out, I throw 100 miles an hour, but can you get it close, buddy? And if you do get it close, they're tuned in on 100 as straight as preacher's ass and whatever here. It's just unreal. Come on.
It's like meat on Bull Durham. Yeah, it's like throws and hits the cow or whatever. Yeah. I had a player hit a kangaroo actually in Australia. Oh,
over to play. True story. Couldn't believe it.
So in Australia, they're letting fans in.
Sorry.
In Australia, they're letting fans into the stadium and stuff.
I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
They have the Queen's rule. I mean, I coached there 4 years. This was a long time ago.
I thought I was talking about
it was right now. You were like recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they like baseball over there, and that's a huge country, and they've got about 24.5 million, I believe, right now, and it's a really big country. Everybody lives on the coast,
mm-hmm.
And then the Crocodile Dundee people, they live up in the Northern Territory, and I met a sheep station guy that owned a bunch of sheep up there, and I asked him, I said, "What do you do?" He says, "Well, I have a sheep station." He looked just like Crocodile Dundee. He had a gorgeous, wonderful suit on, and he had these tough-looking boots. And it was a party for my send-off up in this really kind of neat hotel. And he didn't know a thing about baseball, and I didn't know anything about sheep. And so I just started asking him. I said, "Well, how many sheep you got?" And he said, "Well," he said, "I got about around 3 million. He is the largest guy in the world. So it's pretty interesting.
We've got Mark Littell. He was a pitcher in the 70s and 80s for the Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. But I mean, did you ever pitch in front of like zero fans? I mean, or close enough. You know what I mean? What's it like? Do you think the fans like pick you up, or they, it doesn't bother you?
Doesn't bother you.
It doesn't bother you when
Not
there's
one bit. No, it doesn't bother you. You're still trying to compete. You're there to compete. It's not football where everybody gets revved up. If anything, baseball's a decelerator sport. You want to calm down.
That's true.
So it's a kinesthetic touch feel sport, whereas football is a killer. I will kill you and my legs chopped off, but I'm still coming at you.
Yeah,
Stokes
said, he goes, it shows how boring and slow baseball really is.
It's really about
unless the person actually understands the game and actually wants to get involved in the game. And it's like I've said before, if you got 40,000 people in the stands, you've only got about 2,000 people that actually know what the hell they're watching.
Yeah.
And the other 38,000 are trying to keep their kid line, get a beer or get laid. One of those three. So there you go.
That's right. I told my friend Brenda, I go, when I used to go to the game, I'd always be looking at the count. I'd be looking at the pitcher, the third base coach, and all the stuff, all the signs. And yeah, I mean, I had two focuses: the game and the beer stand. Those are the two things I care about.
Watching girls eat hot dogs.
Yeah. I tell you though, it's something. I mean, you go to a ball game and you got all the big hoopla. I was in St. Louis last year, saw a couple games, and that's a great stadium. It just, in St. Louis, what they do is they average 42,000, a game, and then Los Angeles has 47,000 average a game. The Dodgers, and you've got eons more people out there, but that tells you a lot about St. Louis fans. But it's all red. They're all into it. They've got the Redbird Nation. They got beer coming out the butt, and the thing about it is though, depending on where you're setting, you're trying to follow pitch in, and it's hard to control or watch a game and be a part of it. And I hate to say this, but yeah, you can watch a ball game a lot better on television. Yeah, that's why they make so much money on TV, radio, television rights.
Right, and on television you have a time clock and all this stuff for commercials and everything. But that's the reason I got to ask you. I think we've got about we have about 6 minutes left, and we're going to post this up so people can watch. What does Mark Littell have to say right now? Are you like irritated about anything? Is there anything bugging you?
No, not really. I mean, it is what it is. You got COVID, and then you've got I don't like to get on the BLM thing, but because it's just, I hope it's a glitch, because a lot of people are pissed off about that glitch, and you see what it's going to do to NBA and NFL, and you hope baseball might be smart enough to nip something in the bud, just say, hey, we're playing baseball, we're not talking about politics. Yeah. But it seems to me like they're going to have some really big and hard issues to face in those other two sports. And, if they want to get out of line, the owners just got to pull an ace card and say, well, screw you. We'll just file bankruptcy, and then your contract's not guaranteed, buddy, anymore.
Right.
So NFL goes broke. There you go. Everybody thought of that one?
I've got something else. Over there I want to throw in here real quick.
Sure.
Because I've been watching. I mean, everybody's sitting there watching like old baseball games on YouTube and just and reminiscing about the old days. And I said something yesterday that I think makes sense. I think because I'm 54, I'll be 55. My generation is screwed up. Like Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Rafael Palmeiro, steroids. I mean, all these guys, Sammy Sosa, all of our guys, Juan Gonzalez, all these guys don't do interviews. They're candid interviews. Like I saw Clemens yesterday on an interview, but I mean, you don't see these guys come out. I mean, it's always Rose and Bench and guys that are like, yeah, but why don't our guys come out and start doing interviews? Because Clemens goes, uh-oh, I shouldn't have said that. Or I shouldn't have said that. It's like they're always like, yeah, okay, tell me.
Well, he didn't have the good drugs that we had in the 70s. See, that's where all the good shit was.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, see, everybody always asks these little kids. I've coached so many kids, it's unreal. College and professional and everything else. And they always ask me, they said, hey, did you guys do roids in your era? And I said, no, but I'm sure they would have. They would have been leaders of the pack, I'm sure. Because if you recall, in the late 60s and the 70s, you had cocaine, marijuana, you got alcohol. That was all right there for everybody. And, I was one of the few people that, didn't do it because I was afraid to do it because, and since I'm ADD, if I would have used an upper, it would have, hey, I'm really calm now for some reason. But, wonder why.
I don't want to get him out.
yeah, I don't want to get him out. I just want to rip his throat out, You want to break ribs? I'll break ribs. How about a wrist? But it's kind of interesting just sitting there looking and, they did all the testing. And of course, when I was coaching at the minor league system, the coaches got tested too. And then, 4 times out of the year, you were taking a little pee test, and guys come in there with the little white outfits, and the manager's sitting there and with me and the hitting coach, and he says, "Hey, we're not having batting practice tomorrow. Everybody's showing up for batting practice, but the guys in the white coats are coming in, to take your little pee test."
I'm not speaking I'm not speaking out of school. I won't say anything about Ron Washington, but I
played with Ron second year. I know Ron very well.
Yeah, he admitted he had a problem. But see, Zombie,
no shit. What's new?
He was mad. So see, Zombie, it's like it's not just the players. I mean, come on.
No, hell no, it's not the players.
All right, Mark. Hey, I just wanted to catch up with you. We did like 20 minutes, and that's what we usually do on the show. And I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I just think that baseball's back, and everybody has their own opinion about it. And you say it's good, it's back, and that's what I.
Well, it's back on the field. Play ball. It is what it is. Let's see where it takes us. At least people can, go watch a ball game and comment about it. And of course, the first 2 days, everybody's, I'll never watch another game again. And then they keep repeating it on the Facebook, well, they lost 6-4, but I'm never going to watch tomorrow's game either.
So, I just wish they quit piping in the fake crowd noise and the cutout fans. That's really.
That's interesting. You were talking about that before with, what's his name? Baltimore won 2 out of 3, by the way. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I know they got their asses kicked 11-1 on the first day, the 10-run rule thing. I get 10-run rule thing like amateur ball. But, it's interesting to sit there and you look at that and they say there's so much to talk about in between, even on a bad game. There's other subjects, and you got to be really prepared for that. To talk about bad, subject matter. If you want to talk about Tyson or whoever he's fighting or, whatever, why you're talking about Tyson during a baseball game, I don't know. For one thing is because, what the hell, boxing and, they're, the kids are different now. They don't like to fight like we used to fight. So anyway, and they don't know how to fight. First of all, they start swatting at each other. So what the hell are they doing out there? Shit. Go ahead and knock somebody out.
Well, I guess that's the show today. We have Mark Littell. It says all's good in North Dakota.
I enjoyed the visit, guys.
Thanks, Mark. Hey, okay.
Again, thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Yep.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Hold on. No, it says it's still recording.
Yeah, but it'll only play 20 minutes, but I'll keep it on.
Okay. Well, we could do another 20 if you want with Frankie. It's up to you.
No, maybe tonight or something, or tomorrow.
All right, let's take a little break. He said call me when it's ready. So did it stop recording?
Yeah, I'm doing it.